Hey everyone, welcome to the 10x Your Success Story Online Summit, where 30 experts will share your skills, secrets, and shortcuts to help you achieve your most ambitious dreams. My name is Jeric, and I am your host. Our guest believes anyone can write a book. You just need an editor and a printer, and that's what she does best. She's a published author, copy editor, online and offline publisher, book writing mentor, printer, and a creative communication strategist. She is the founder of PaperKat's book and the COO of HS Graphic Print, personal branding expert and self-publishing speaker who advocate for lifelong learning and collaboration. And also, she is the editor-in-chief of the After Six Club. Ladies and gentlemen, Kath Eustaquio Derla. Hi, Kath. How's it going?
Hi, Jeric. I'm good. How are you? Hope you're doing well.
Yep, doing great. Thank you for spending the time with us and sharing your expertise.
Thanks also for having me.
Yeah, you said, Kath, that what helped you achieve your success right now is your skill of creative strategy, right? How did you
Yes.
get started with this skill, and how did this help you achieve your success right now?
Okay. Actually, I have a very unique career path. Let me just quickly go through my portfolio or my background. Okay, so I'm a journalism graduate from UST, but when I graduated, I didn't want to write. So it's a bit ironic. Siguro, napagod lang talaga ako
Yeah.
sa pagsusulat. So my first job was actually a graphic designer for a film company. So I used to design yellow page ads, and then nabore ako sa graphic design. So I decided, okay, writing naman. So I became a copywriter for Mosview. And then from there, I transitioned to becoming a graphic designer and copywriter for an advertising agency. So I wrote for Pampers, for Pantene, for Head and Shoulders. And then I tried to go back to school and get an MA sa creative writing. And I also tried law school. Both stints didn't push through because I realized some things are not for me. Siguro na-bored na naman ako. I have a very short attention span sometimes for things that don't really work for me. So, siguro mababa rin ang patience ko. And then, I returned to, actually weird kasi bigla na naman ako nag-shift. I became a digital marketing specialist for Binibining Pilipinas and for Smart Araneta Coliseum. So, I worked with queens, we do PRs, we do events for them. And then, nag-shift naman ako to internal communications specialist for Accenture in the Philippines. This is what I'd like to say, no? Kung ang normal career path, your average career path is like a heartbeat line. So it goes straight and then you experience ups and downs, may konting movement. But still there's movement. You keep going forward. You keep going somewhere. But sa akin, sabog siya. So, writing, design, digital marketing, internal communication specialist. So, para siyang starburst. Your path ko. So, I keep questioning myself, am I doing the right thing? Why am I doing this? And then, finally, when I was in Accenture, I had to go to Malaysia to follow my husband. So, parang na-uproot na naman ako. But, when I started my freelance writing career in Malaysia, so I worked for clients in the UK, in the US, and in Canada, I realized, oh my God, I needed to learn all of those things so that I can finally build my own brand. So, using creative strategy and pure guts, I created PaperKat Books. It's an indie publishing arm for my family's business. We have a small printing company based in Pasig called HS Graphic Print, and I'm the COO, child of owner, which is a very, very real designation when you're working in the family business. So, with creative strategy, I created PaperKat Books, and our goal is to help people write their own books because I believe that anyone can write their own books. They just need an editor and, of course, a printer. I always say passion is overrated because you can always have passion, but without a plan, your passion is useless. So that's where the plan comes in. We're not just teaching people how to write books, but actually how to sell those books and how to bring it to life. There you go.
All right, awesome story, Kath. It seems to me that well, you've been through a lot of careers and jobs, and right now you have two companies, right? Meaning you are managing the HS graphic, and then you founded PaperKat's book, right?
Yes.
What other experiences are you looking to get, and how? I mean, what drives you on getting those experiences?
I guess what drives me is the fact na anyone can really write a book. When people say, "Oh, I want to write a book, but I'm not good in writing." Oh my God, this is the secret. You don't really need to be good in writing. There's actually a template that you can follow. So we created a 3-part template. It
Mhm.
simplifies the writing process, and we have
Okay.
a stringent editing process where we match you with editors. For example, if you're writing about let's say life coaching, you're a life coach and you want to share your experiences through a book, our template is customizable to what you want to write about.
Okay.
And then we match you with an editor. So that drives me. It drives me to prove to people that anyone can write a book. You don't have to be best in grammar, you don't have to be good in writing because everyone has a story. It's just, you just have to have creative strategy so that you can sell that idea. That's where I come in. So that's what drives me because even you, if you want to write a book, just let me know. Right?
Yeah. Um, can you give us the idea of what your three-part writing template is?
Okay. There are many ways on how you can write a story. You can start with the ending. I'm sure you've read or you have seen some movies that started with an ending, right?
Yeah.
Like Inception. I think that Inception started with an ending. I think. And then there's the linear one, like beginning, and then the catalyst, which is your middle. That's the turning point of every story, and then you have the ending.
Yep.
So those 3 parts of the book or of a story, the beginning, the catalyst, and the ending,
Hmm.
once you've decided on what you want to write about, you just determine the beginning, the catalyst, and the ending. The prologue and the epilogue, sorry, the prologue and the epilogue, the foreword, the introduction, those are all add-ons. The reason why people don't finish writing their manuscripts is because they keep changing. They keep changing the ending. Like, for example, I've struggled before if I wanted to kill this character or not in my book. So I mean, I'm asking myself back and forth, should I kill this character or not? And then I told myself, no, you have to decide now, otherwise you'll never finish. So once you decide on those 3 parts, you now have an outline. You now have an outline of what you want to write about. And then you give yourself a deadline like, okay, I'm
Hmm.
going to write this part in 2 months, this part in 2 months, this part in 2 months, or you can write the whole thing in 1 month. You'll be able to finish. You won't you can suffer from writer's block and all of that. But once you know how your story will end or how your story goes, you can actually finish. That's why we created that 3-part template to simplify the writing process because students keep telling me, "Oh, I have writer's block. I've been writing my manuscript for 3 years.
Yeah.
Why? Tell me your story." And then when I ask them to tell me the outline, oh my God, they don't know what they want to write about. Should they kill this character? Should they save this character? And then I said, you know what? You have to decide before you even start writing. You have to decide.
Okay. All
There.
right. Thank you for giving us that. Well, describing us to, describing to us the template, of what you use to write books. Now, Kath, let's go to the meat and potatoes of the interview because this is the core, really, right? Um, let's say, knock on wood, that you suddenly lose everything, right? Your money, your reputation, your brand, your business assets, following, whatever. The only thing that you have is your core skill, which is, you know, um, creative strategy and writing, right? What 3 steps are you going to do to regain everything back?
Okay. You know what? I've actually experienced something similar before because just to give you an idea, no, before when I worked in the corporate world, some of the companies I've worked for before, they always keep telling me that I'm too ambitious, to the point that I'm sometimes being labeled as difficult. because there's so many things that I want to do. I want to do it well, but sometimes the process, the red tape, it gets difficult. I think many people, many creative people who have high ambition suffer from that. So I keep rebranding myself through creative strategy. Like when I started with digital marketing, as a digital marketing specialist, I came up with different campaigns on how to differentiate myself. And then when I got uprooted, and then I started my freelance writing career in Malaysia, I had to differentiate myself from all of the content writers out there. So uh, if that kind of situation, uh, if I have to face that kind of situation, the
Mhm.
first thing that I'm gonna do is to connect with my former clients because I like to build relationships. Like recently, I closed a six-figure deal with this airline company, and amazingly, the person who referred to me was my client from Singapore 3 years ago. So through those relationships, you build relationships with your clients, you give them value. So if you want to start again, you just have to look back at the people who helped you before, you've helped before. You can cash in some favors, and then you have to prove yourself well. And then I will create my website, a new website, rebranding myself as, as a seasoned writer, as an editor. Actually, before I thought I didn't want to be an editor, I just want to be a writer. But then I told myself, oh, you have to expand your network. You have to add another feather in your cap. So I became an editor. And then, oh, I think I need to move up again. So I became an online publisher and a printer. And then eventually I want to become a full-time publisher. Um, so those, create your website, connect with former clients, power up your LinkedIn profile because it's very powerful, and just keep on writing. Write and write until you get more capital to fund your other project.
All right.
So that
And that is your step one, right?
yes. I think the first step is to create your website and or Facebook page if you don't have the capital yet to buy your own website. And then you connect with former clients. You prove to them, okay, this is what I'm doing now. Would you like to hire me again for projects? And then step three is to keep on writing, editing until you build your own capital.
All right. I think that is really, an in-depth guide of, what you're going to do if you suddenly lose everything, right? Can you
Yes.
give us some tips on how we're going to power up our, let's say, Facebook profile or LinkedIn profile? How can we brand ourselves so that we're gonna get, in touch with clients and other people?
First and foremost, you need to attend Cassie Parahilio's LinkedIn optimization class because everything I learned about LinkedIn, I learned from her. So she teaches all of these neat tricks and tips on how people can find you on LinkedIn. Not just find, but actually connect with you. And these are C-suite people, meaning they're chief executive officers, your chief operations officer. So all of those C-suites and officers and managers. So you need to connect with people who have decision making powers, so that you can bypass the HR or something. But what's really important is you need to brand yourself well. So actually, I have two Facebook accounts. One is private, so that's where I post my pictures of my son, of my family, because I'm sort of semi-private person. But I also have a showbiz account on Facebook because whenever people add me up on Facebook, I don't want to sound, I don't want to reject anyone, so I just add them there. Sometimes these are writers from Wattpad or from the writing community who want to add me, or from the movie industry who want to add me. Sometimes directors add me because some of my books have I've pitched some of my books to Star Cinema before, so I connect with those people. And so yeah, you have to brand yourself well. So if you have a public Facebook account, what you put there has to be reflected in your LinkedIn, and what you put on those social media pages have to reflect on your website. So if your branding is fun, fearless, fabulous, fierce, female, writer, publisher, whatsoever, it needs to be communicated well in all of your online pages, on your website. In terms of branding, there are a lot of personal branding classes out there. You can attend one. You just need to differentiate yourself well, because there are a lot of writers already. There are a lot of editors already. There are a lot of life coaches. There are a lot of LinkedIn trainers. So what makes you different from all of those, from your competitors or from your colleagues? So that's where personal branding comes in. I think it's very important because there's a lot of noise in the online world. So
Yeah.
you need to learn how to shine, shine brightly.
Right. I actually agree with that. Because a lot of people doesn't actually know how to brand themselves.
Mm,
But when you do, right, when you actually learn how to brand yourself on LinkedIn, on Facebook, you're going to stand out, and you could actually bypass other stuff, other things that might hinder your career movement, right? And
yes.
well, in our case, connecting with clients. Now down to the
Yeah.
last question, Kath. Um,
Okay.
it's like a Miss Universe question. All right.
Okay.
um,
I'm prepared. I'm
yeah.
prepared. I have background.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
What do
I've
you
worked for,
wanna? Yeah. What
yeah.
what what do you wanna contribute to the world, and how are you planning on achieving it?
Okay. My goal before was to create a library for self-published authors. So I've actually started building that. I already have 33 self-published authors under the PaperKat books branding, and we're building more. Just I think earlier this June and
Mhm.
during the last part of May, I've booked several talents. I call them talents because well, they have talent. I wouldn't sign them in if they don't have talent.
Yeah.
They have to tell. They have good stories to tell, and I help them create that. So you can think of me as like Mother Lily. I'm a talent scout. Anyway, so before I just wanted to have a library, but now I actually want to have a bookstore. I want to have a bookstore where we can sell all self-published books written by Filipinos. For now, let me focus on the Filipino
Yeah.
writers because I have students actually in India and in Barbados. But um, I just really want to have a space where you can find self-published books by Filipino authors. Because sometimes not all of the books that we publish are sold in bookstores. So I want to have that space. And yeah, actually, you know what? In terms of we publish fiction and nonfiction. So for nonfiction, we have those self-help books, management books, business books. But for fiction, my big idea is actually to create like a Marvel universe, Marvel Comics universe, MCU universe. Did I say that right? Yeah, Marvel Comics universe, MCU. I want to have that kind of connections with my books. So for example, this book, there's a character here, and then that
Mhm.
character has a cameo in another book, and then
Okay.
the characters there have a cameo in another book. So it's like a puzzle that you can piece together. Lots of Easter
Mhm.
eggs there. So those two, a bookstore and a paper cat books universe. That's what I want to call it because there's magic, there's magic in Easter eggs. I love comic books. I love Marvel. I love Marvel. I love DC. So whenever I find those Easter eggs, I want to have that same magic in my books, in all of the books that we publish. Those two are my goals. Hopefully, I'll get to do that in the next 5-10 years.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for spending the time with us, Kath, and sharing
Thank
your knowledge. How can we follow you? Do you have any like freebie or resources that we could consume?
Okay. For the website, you can visit my website at www.paperkatbooks.com. PaperKat Books also have a Facebook account, but it's fairly new. But on Facebook, you can follow me at Kaths Eustaquio Derla, and on LinkedIn, you can search for my name, connect with me. I'm not a fan of Twitter. um, so you find me there, but it's I don't usually use that anymore. Instagram, yeah, PaperKat Books has its own Instagram handle, but of course you can see it on July 13 at Estancia Malls. plug-in story. Yeah, we have an event for 10 times success story, how to write a book and become a self-published author. So you can connect with me there. You can learn a lot of things about becoming a self-published author and of course how to write a book.
All
And
right.
I hope you in all of our events.
Yeah, that is July 13, right?
July 13 at Estancia Malls in Pasig City.
Okay. So if you're interested in meeting Kat personally and learning from her about how to publish your book, you need to attend that July 13 at Estancia. Again, thank you,
Yes.
Kat, for attending and sharing with us your story and your knowledge. I hope you
Yes.
have a great day. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye guys. Thanks, Jeric.
Thank
Bye. Enjoy
you.
Okada. All right. Bye bye. Thank you.